Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Inside the Dam podcast. I am your host, Cole Clementich, back again for another week as we are just getting started here in Season 2. And I said last week the original KMSU crew was hoping to be back, but that is not the case. Another unfortunate situation coming up late, so I'll be filling in tonight here for the crew, and we just want to welcome you guys in watching on the KMSU podcast, the YouTube live stream. We are very fortunate to have you on board with us tonight. But as always, another great show. We do 3 guests usually every week from Minot State Athletics in a partnership with them and KMSU TV and Radio, the broadcasting department on campus. So before we get started, we just want to remind you guys about Papa John's, that they are the premier sponsor of the Inside the Dam podcast. So hit them up on their website, search for any deals that they may have going on, search Papa John's in Minot. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272. That's 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. And behind the scenes, we have Matt Bosch doing the camera switching with us. So thank you, Matt, for being on board. You can see him waving there. But kicking us off, well, before we get started with that, our 3 guests come from volleyball, football, and women's soccer. So stay tuned for that. But kicking us off here as a junior from Durango, Colorado, also happened to be a multi-sport athlete in high school and now playing volleyball here for the Minot State Beavers. Give it up for Paige Ammerman. Paige, thank you for being here with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you, Paige. So, yeah, just quite frankly, we started the show off pretty much the same. Just tell us about how your season's going so far. Obviously, bright new sights with the new volleyball season now getting underway. Talk about how that's going for you and also maybe a little bit in the classroom as well.
Yeah, for sure. We started off with a tournament in Montana, which was fun. Kind of a little opportunity to figure out where we need to improve, but we had some good matches up there. And then we went to Texas. We won a game there. And then this past weekend, we were in Crookston and Bemidji, and the Crookston game was a really good game. They took us in the first 2 sets, but then we came back in the last 3, and it was definitely a good game for character and just showing that we weren't going to give up. And yeah, we're looking forward to this weekend. We play Mankato and Southwest, so that should be a good matchup. And yeah, the classroom's going great. I'm in nursing school, so it's S2. It's difficult, but it's good. I've been in the hospital and a lot of more fun clinical settings this semester, so it's fun.
We're going to get to some more inside the classroom stuff later, but yeah, talk about that matchup against Crookston back on Friday night. You know, I was actually up in Canada. We were watching or paying attention intently because, you know, we saw the first time you guys were down 2-0, and then we looked at the score. All of a sudden, you know, you guys have set point, and the third set in set point. It's like, we have a comeback on the rise here, and it eventually happened. So yeah, just talk about how crazy was that moment for you guys, and just talk about the environment in Crookston.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. The first 2, we definitely weren't playing our best volleyball, and we all knew that. And it would have been easy for a lot of teams to just give up after that second set and hand it over. But that third set, we came out, changed up some things, and third and fourth were ours. And then that fifth set was a battle, but we did it. We came out on top, and that was fun. That was a really good night for us, and just getting 2 wins under our belt is a good thing to have this so far in the season.
Absolutely, and 38 assists for you. That was actually a career high against Crookston. You know, for you personally, how have you felt at the start of this season? And, you know, just talking from a team aspect, you know, what do you girls hope to accomplish? You know, what are some goals that you have? And really just kind of expand on that a little bit as you guys kind of move in towards the midway portion of the season.
Yeah, I think one of the main things is that we just all wanted to have a lot more fun this season. Last season, we kind of got in a little bit of a rut, and, you know, when you lose, it gets hard to have fun, but this season has been going a lot better. The environment is better. We go to practice every day, and we're competing, and practice is fun. Every day in practice is so good, and so we're really just trying to take what we do in practice and bring it onto the court, because a lot of times, you know, anxiety, nerves, it's hard to bring that onto the court, but I think we're definitely moving towards that point, and it's fun to watch the program.
Little fun fact provided here by the stats, and thank you, as always, goes to Mike Stetson for providing all the information. But you played lacrosse and tennis in high school, so we up here in North Dakota, we don't have lacrosse as often. I know inside the bubble, there's been a few D1 college matchups, I think, versus Montana and one of the Minnesota schools. I think it was St. Thomas. Tell us about that experience. How has playing multiple sports in high school helped you in your college athletic journey?
Yeah, lacrosse in high school was super fun. I would definitely encourage anyone to play lacrosse if you have the opportunity. It was
I think it's a lot of fun.
Tennis was not really my thing. It was a little too quiet and a little independent for me. I kind of like the team-based sports. So, but yeah, I think just being able to balance in high school multiple sports in school and challenging yourself definitely just sets you up for success in college when things ramp up a little bit more. And honestly, in high school, my whole goal was just to stay in shape while I wasn't in volleyball season, and I ended up loving lacrosse, so that was just a pro to being in shape at the same time. So
that's good. And maybe a little message to Minot State. Get a lacrosse team on campus.
Right? It's
kidding.
Fun to watch, too. It's not just only fun to play.
No, that is good, certainly. But yeah, let's talk about campus life. So before we talk more about your major, obviously, we like to talk with the athletes about some of their favorite MSU life events. Obviously, bingo's a big one. What other events they have going on? I know the Pride. It's Pride Week, and so they got a few new things going on around campus. But just talk about some of your favorite events. What have you enjoyed most, and what are some activities you like to do with your teammates?
Yeah, MSU life is amazing on campus. I have never won at bingo, so that is kind of something that I am like, maybe I shouldn't keep going, but I should. Mm-hmm. I just love when they do free lunch and the free succulents or free plants, whatnot. They have so many fun things going on campus, so I love that. And obviously just going to other sporting events. We got to go to one football game so far, and we'll get to go to one more this season, we got to go to 0 last year, so that's awesome. And I mean, women's soccer, just all the different sports. It's fun to support others.
Yes, this is the show for MSU Beaver Athletics, and unfortunately, I could not get the schedule installed on the iPad in time, but we'll mention that here a little bit briefly, momentarily. But you're listening to junior volleyball member Paige Ammerman from Minot State, or from Durango, Colorado, playing Minot State on the volleyball squad. So, Paige, now talk about, nursing life. So you're in and out of the hospital a lot, like you mentioned. What are some things that you're taking away so far, and really just kind of enlighten us a little bit. What are some things that nursing students do? What's the day in the life?
Yeah, as of right now, we have class about 3 times a week, and then we're in the hospital 1 day of the week, or any clinical setting. There's multiple places that we're going, so that'll ramp up as I get going, but it's super fun to go to different clinical sites, and I'm learning so much at this point. It's a little bit overwhelming, but it's awesome to see, for one, all the different fields that I could potentially get into and just learn from some really awesome people, and so I'm really enjoying it, and yeah, I love nursing here at Minot State. So,
where do you hope to see yourself in the future? Where do you hope to take this degree and this way of learning in nursing? Where do you see yourself down the line?
Yeah, down the line, I think I'll probably work for a couple years when I first get out, hopefully in the ICU, and then ideally I would really like to go to CRNA school, become a nurse anesthetist, and see where that takes me. Yeah, I'm kind of open to many options. I don't really have a place or a specific school that I by any means need to go to, but I'm just ready to keep going, yeah.
Before we send you off here, expectations for yourself in the classroom and even when competing on the court, what do you hope to, what are some personal goals that you have this season?
Obviously maintaining good grades, that's always something that is super important to me. On the court, just being the best teammate that I can, whether I'm on the court or off the court, and adding to a better environment for our team, and just bettering every ball when I am on the court. So those are my main goals, and in the classroom, just continuing to enjoy and take in my education rather than rush through it. I feel like it's easy to want to be done with it, but I also want to take in this time before I am in the real world and have a career, and so, yeah.
there you go. Well said. And a lot of good stuff there for sure. And Paige, before we send you off here, anything else you'd like to mention? You want to let the audience know about the next few home games this weekend?
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, we have a matchup against Southwest and Mankato, so we'd love to see you guys there. And thanks for having me today.
Awesome. Thank you for being here, Paige. Those are 6 o'clock and 10 a.m. start times, both Friday and Saturday, respectively. But once again, that was junior Paige Ammerman from the Minot State volleyball squad, and sharing her story and giving us a lot of good details about her college life and experiences. So, Paige, thank you again for joining us.
Yes, thanks.
Before we take it to a quick break here, folks, we want to remind you, and Matt, I believe there's also a Papa John's logo inside the iPad as well. If you want to click that real quick, Papa John's is the premier sponsor of the Inside the Dam podcast. Be sure to hit them up on their website. Search for any deals that they may have going on. Search Papa John's in Minot. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272. That's 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. I believe, Matt, is the other folder to the right there of the camera side there. But, while we let him find that, we're just going to send it to a quick... Here, let me see here.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
My apologies, Matt. There it is.
I pulled that up.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I must have missed it. So, yeah, sorry about that, folks. But maybe there's something up with the YouTube. We'll figure that out when we cross that bridge. But we're going to take a quick break, folks. We'll be right back after this. You'll hear from either one of the other members, Yossi Villagrana, or Carson Cayko. We'll be back. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Inside the Dam podcast. Again, I'm your host, Cole Clementich. We just got done talking with Paige Ammerman of the volleyball team and hearing a lot of great stuff from her and even a little bit about the nursing field. So that is her story and guest number one of the day. Before we get into our second one here, I want to remind you guys, Papa John's is the premier sponsor for the Inside the Dam podcast. Check them out on their website. Search for any deals that maybe possibly have going on either this week or the week after or even down the line. But search Papa John's in Minot. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272. That's 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. We want to thank Admir and the Papa John's crew for sponsoring the Inside the Dam podcast. As always, I want to apologize to Matt. Last segment, I just realized that the live stream was running behind. It was not up to date, so I had to click the live button once, and there we go. We saw it, and yeah, thank goodness we got that working now. So, but yep. Yeah, so that's on me. So, but yeah, thank you, as always, to Matt behind the scenes working on the camera switching tonight. But moving on here, our second guest comes from the football team and a junior from Fairview, Montana, and a third-year starter at the linebacker position. Carson Cayko joins us. Carson, we're happy to have you on board. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you, Carson. So, yeah, same old. Just kind of tell us about how your season is going so far personally and, obviously playing on the field and, making some big plays out there this season, and also, kind of talk a little bit about classroom life so far.
Yeah, I would say overall this season for the team, although we haven't had the success in the win columns like we want, I think it's been good progress, I would say, in the directions of where we want to go. For me personally, yeah, I mean, just try to go out there, do my job, and whenever there's a play to be made, try not to miss it,
Mm-hmm.
My linebacker coach has a good saying of, Coach Bruno has a saying of make your layups, and so just try not to miss those, and yeah.
Yeah, and, you mentioned it, talking about there's a new coaching staff in town for the football team, and talk about how that adjustment has been going for you personally, how it's been going for the team, and even your position group.
Yeah, for me personally, I think with any brand, we basically had a complete new change to our coaching staff. It's a little bit of an adjustment. There's no coach is going to have the same coaching philosophy as the next, but I think it's going good so far for me personally. A lot of hard work, a lot of days out on the herb with just trying to work on different things. I'd say for the team, I mean, for the guys who have stuck around and decided to transfer, or some guys just ended up, with everything with COVID, just we're graduated and we're like, body hurting a little bit. Don't really feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't really feel like having it hurt anymore. But I would say the guys who've stuck around are good. We're in support of these coaches, and I think we know that they're gonna point us in the right direction. And our linebacker room, bunch of goofballs, I'd say, as any other
Nice.
program as far as linebackers go. But Coach Michael Bruno, he's a good coach, I think. I feel like I've become a way better linebacker since he's got here, and I would say all the rest of the guys who have stuck around would say the same thing. And the new guys in the room are awesome. The new guys on the team are awesome as well. Getting to know everybody's been great. Bunch of good guys. Yeah, good camaraderie, I'd say, so far.
Nice. Taking a team aspect approach here on the Inside the Dam podcast. And, Carson, going back last weekend against Sioux Falls, I know it was in a losing effort. I mean, you guys, as a defensive group, probably your best game of the season, and you personally, 9 tackles with 2 for a loss. Just kind of talk about, the tight game against Sioux Falls. What was working well for you guys on the defensive side of the ball, really?
I would say, our coaches got us prepared well for that week in that game. I think after the week before against Mankato, kind of game got away from us a little bit. Defensively, we knew we could have played better that week, so we really wanted to step up this week, especially for our offense after they put up a really good effort that week against Mankato. So I'd say, Sioux Falls, they're known for having a really good run game. The quarterback's usually pretty good, usually a good runner, a good mobile quarterback, and I'd say our game plan was really just to try to limit the explosiveness of the quarterback and limit the running backs as much as we possibly could. And yardage-wise, they had a lot of yards that game, but they only scored 1 touchdown on kind of a broken play. And, as far as my performance goes, I had those tackles, but, a lot of the credit goes to our defensive line up front. They've been stepping it up a lot this year. Emmett Espino especially, he's been eating things up down there in the trenches. Sean Pusakora, my boy Ryan, a bunch of guys down there on the front line doing things so I can do my job to the best of my abilities. Another thing as far as that goes, just like I said earlier, is making your layups or making the plays as they come to you. Just trying to do my job, and if the play comes to me, then go try to make it.
Yeah, a lot of big bodies on that defensive line, and certainly, games can be won and lost in the trenches. So, yeah, there's a lot of big presence there for the Beavers, like you said. Let's go away from the gridiron here for a second. Let's talk a little bit about schooling. So tell us about your major and, what have you learned so far in the classroom? What's classroom life like for you?
Yeah, I'm going into I'm majoring in nursing right now.
Another nursing major like Paige.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm in my 4th semester there. I'm a double major in physical education with a concentration in health and wellness as well. But yeah, I'm in my 4th semester in the nursing program. It's a little tough. A lot of hours in the classroom. A lot of hours is in as far as clinicals and being in a hospital or being able to do things like that. But it's a lot of fun. Something I really want. I've kind of known healthcare and that area is something I've always kind of wanted to lean towards since I was in high school. And yeah, I've really enjoyed it a lot. But with football and everything like that, it can be pretty busy, but just got to try to manage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Like you said, got to balance school and football. And that's a big challenge maybe for a lot of students or student athletes on campus, quite frankly. Excuse me. But yeah, so those two majors, how they seem pretty close or tight-knit, pretty similar subjects. Where do you hope to take that as a career going forward? Just kind of, really tell us, some future goals of yours, and tell us more.
Yeah, I mean, as far as my nursing goes, I right away just go work somewhere. I really want to work in the ICU or ER to start off with. My aunt Jacqueline Free, she actually went to school here and
oh wow,
yeah, graduated from the nursing program here. She's a nurse practitioner with her own little clinic back home, but yeah, I eventually want to go get my master's and go be an NP and stuff, and maybe be a flight nurse in there somewhere if I can fit that in there.
No, that'll be certainly some nice aspirations to have, certainly in master's degree. Go, a lot of businesses, a lot of places appreciate people going the extra mile. So those are some pretty impressive goals of yours. So Carson, yeah, that is nicely said there. And anything else you'd like to mention to us? Game this weekend coming up against Wayne State. Give us a little preview about that.
Yeah, defending conference champs last year. Real good football team. It was a tough game for us last season when they came to play, but I think this year, just overall as a team, we're better. So I think we can turn it into a tough game. Hopefully we can. And they got a good quarterback, good running back over there. So it's going to be another big test for us defensively as far as being able to limit those two. But yeah, I'd say 1 o'clock on Saturday?
That sounds about right. Yep. 1 p.m. kickoff on Saturday. And, yep, there you have it, folks. You just heard junior linebacker Carson Cayko from the football team. Carson, thank you for being on the Inside the Dam podcast today.
Yeah, of course. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Yeah, we enjoyed you having on. So, and before we kick it off to our next break here, folks, we just want to remind you, Papa John's, as the premier sponsor of the Inside the Dam podcast. Check them out on their website. Search for any deals. Search Papa John's in Minot. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272. That's 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. We'll be right back after this quick break. You are going to hear one of the women's soccer players, Yossi Villagrana. Stick with us. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Inside the Dam podcast. I'm your host, Cole Clementich. Recapping the show a little bit so far, we heard from Paige Ammerman of volleyball and Carson Cayko on the football team, sharing us their stories and experiences on Minot State campus so far. Before we get into our last guest here, we want to give a shout out to Admir and Papa John's, as they are the premier sponsor of the Inside the Dam podcast. Search Papa John's in Minot. Hit them up on their website. Search for any deals that they may have going on. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272. That's 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. As always, a big, gracious thanks goes out to Admir and the Papa John's crew. And folks, our final guest here tonight comes from women's soccer as a junior transfer from Butler Community College and native of Wichita, Kansas. Yossi Villagrana joins us. Yossi, thanks for being here tonight.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate y'all for having me.
Yeah, Yossi. So you were one of the goal scorers this past weekend against Mankato. We'll get into that in a little bit, but just tell us about, first semester here at Minot State. Tell us about your experience. How's it going so far? What's Minot like for you? Minot life for sure. And tell us about classroom experience as well.
Yeah, sounds good. No, yeah. So far, so good. I like it a lot. Minot is definitely a really nice place, and the people here are very, very welcoming. So that's nice, and I really enjoy just the environment that the school provides, and especially like the soccer team in general. Like our head coach and like our coaching staff are just like great people overall, and like they just care for each and every one of us. So like just knowing that like I've come into a program where like they care about every single player, just like not just as an athlete but as a person as well. So that's been really nice, and like the girls are super sweet, and like I'm making some really good friends and like good memories with everyone, so that's nice. And like my 2 roommates, Annabelle and Lola, were very welcoming too, and I live with them off campus, so that's nice. And they've made it very easy for me to just like feel at home. So yeah, like so far I love the atmosphere of this place, and I like it a lot. And in the classroom, it's been good too. Small sizes, which like I'm used to from like a community college, but honestly like it's nice to know that they are small, because then like the professor, you can ask more questions. I feel like it's more personal. So so far so good, and I'm a psychology major, so I'm enjoying all the classes that I'm taking at the moment. So
Psychology major.
Yeah.
We're going to get into that more in a little bit here,
All
but
right.
yeah, so this past weekend you actually lead the team in goals this season with 3 of them, and you got a penalty kick goal versus number 5 Minnesota State Mankato that ended up being a tie. But just kind of talk about that moment. What were you feeling? What were the emotions like? And tell us more on recap this past weekend's home games a little bit.
Right. No, yeah, for sure. I was definitely nervous taking the penalty kick, but it was nice to know my teammates and like my coaching staff trusted me. And honestly though, like it's a team sport. So like everything that like I do, it's for them, and like the success is a team thing. So for sure, like I just knew I had to sink it in for everyone because I wanted to, I had no other choice. But no, it was nice that they all were like, yeah, you should take it. So I was like, okay, like I got it. But yeah, like it was nice to know that we tied the number 5 team in the nation, which is like crazy. And that just shows that like every single one of us has been putting in the work, and just like training every day at 6:30 in the morning is like paying off, and just like the pieces are coming together as like one. But seriously, like just knowing that every girl on that team puts their heart and soul and body on the line every day. So it's nice to just see that, and like hopefully throughout the season, like we can end up catching some more dubs. So yeah.
There you go. Love it.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, all love to the volleyball and the football coaching staffs, but for the soccer staff, especially Coach Perez,
Yeah.
I've gotten to know him for a while. He's awesome. I love the guy.
Right?
And, just talk about, how has he helped you in your transition to Minot? Obviously, the welcoming environment with your roommates, that's almost Minot to a T. It's really great that they're all helping you out here. But talk about, this coaching staff that you're getting adjusted with. How has Coach Perez helped you in many ways?
No, yeah, for sure. He's a great guy, for sure. And like, I think like with him, it's like him just like actually putting in effort to like get to know you and like know what you want out of yourself, and he kind of like helps you direct that. Like even like if it's just to do with school or you as a person or anything personal, but like especially just as like an athlete, like whatever you want, and like you go to him if you have any issues or questions. Like he's just very open, and I think that's what makes him like such a good guy, is like, and a good coach, knowing that you can even just like approach him with anything, and he will like take you in with open arms and give you like the best tools to like help you succeed. And like yeah, like I remember when he was recruiting me, he was just like, he believes in you, and he's just like, I want you like here, and like he's like, I'm gonna make sure like we have a good team, and like I want to put in the work, and like he's showing it so far. And just him, like he has so much heart and desire for like the game, and then for everyone on the team as well. Like he puts in the work, and it shows, and like to a T, like he has everything for practice set up, like for games. Like he's a very detail like oriented guy, so it's appreciated, and it's not unseen. So
Yep.
yeah.
No, that is him to a T, like
Yeah.
you said. So yeah, very job well done. And talk about going through that transfer process. What was kind of that like for you? Was it a first time experience? And just kind of tell us what maybe were some things that maybe you were expecting or weren't expecting. Tell us all that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Being a transfer is definitely like a stressful yet exciting experience, because like once you finish your 2 years at like a JUCO, it's like, oh, okay, like now I have to find another school. When like if you do start off at a 4-year, it's like, okay, I got the next 4 years like set. But like transitioning from that, it's like 2 and then another 2 years. So it could be like a little stressful, because some people, like I was like, oh my gosh, where am I gonna go? Like where, like will I even find a school on time and things like that. But the transition like itself, once you get like all the paperwork and all the, turned in your transcripts and getting all that stuff done, it's definitely smooth afterwards. And especially here, like at Minot, like everyone was super helpful. Like I called like the financial aid office with like so many different questions so many times, like, and like they were super helpful, and just like this transition couldn't have been any better, even though it's stressful, like they made it as easy as possible. So yeah, I like it though. So
Absolutely, and that that's normal for a lot of new incoming students to have all those questions, and kind of a good segue to moving on here for classroom life. So you said you're a psychology major. I don't know if you ever see my sister Katie Clementich at all, but psychology, that's her major as well. Tell us a little bit about what do you learn from that, and do you use any of that and apply it to any of your experience on the soccer field or with your teammates at all?
Yeah, no, for sure. I like in general, I want to be like a therapist, so I want to deal with people, and like I'm thinking about minoring in addiction studies, so mainly like helping addicts could be the thing that I want to do for sure.
Okay.
But just like overall, like I take like what I've learned in psychology and like implementing it onto like the soccer field is definitely just like having an open mind and being open that like athletes struggle with mental health a lot. And it's definitely a thing that people are starting to talk about more, which is like really, really good. But it's still not talked about enough. And I don't think people understand like the pressure of being like an athlete, and especially being like a woman in sports. And then you have to have school on top of that. So just like keeping an open mind and like letting everyone know that like you're not alone, and that like you have to understand that like I feel like I have an upper hand because it's like I understand the psychology and the way the brain works, and it's just like knowing like I could use that just to help people, just to help them out if they're feeling like anxious, stressed, or like depressed with like anything, because those things do exist and they do need to be talked about. And like just like reminding your teammates and just like knowing that like it's okay, like we're here, we're all in the same boat. So it's like if you ever struggle with anything, like talk, like speak up, so just like I think just I always want to be a like so people can an open ear, so people can always talk and like dumb things and like just let it off their chest, and I just want to be there for them to listen. So
no, that is a good mindset, and especially in a tough field like this, grinding for school hours and hours on the field, court, or the ice, wherever your sport is at. It's definitely something that students should be open to talking about, and that's always a good message to spread around here. And you being one of the more experienced on the roster, despite being new to the team, just kind of what's some advice that you would give to some of the younger players that maybe aren't having as much of a good time, or could be struggling, or just kind of all that, they might have different intentions moving on down the line, like transferring or so
Right.
Kind of tell us about that a little bit.
I'd say probably my best advice is just to stay the course and like really focus on what you really need in the moment, because you can get caught up in a lot of other things and like a lot of other pressures from the outside. And I don't know if you're set on transferring and going to like a new school, or if you're a freshman like in college sports, like just know that like to enjoy every bit of it, but just to take care of yourself as well. But yeah, like if you enjoy something, keep doing it, and like if you don't anymore, it's okay. Like you can always pick something else up or take a break and come back at it. But I say just like whatever you feel is right in the moment, stick to it. So that's my best advice.
We're not here to by the way, just a PSA, guys, we're not here to advocate for any Minot State athletes to transfer at this time, but yes, that is valid there. So for
sure.
it does happen, and things kind of go on the haywire for some, and just things don't work out as much. So but yeah, Yossi, thank you for being on here today, and kind of tell us a little bit about what are some future goals and expectations that you have going forward this season, and maybe even down the line, both on the field and in the classroom.
Yeah, I think for soccer wise, we want to win the conference and make it to the conference tournament and hopefully win that.
That'll be huge.
Yeah, that'll be huge, and make it to the national tournament. We have team goals, so like, but especially that conference, just winning that would be like amazing. So that's like the biggest goal right now for the entire team, so that's nice. And then just for the classroom, just keep expanding my knowledge on what I'm trying to learn about, and like just take it all in and stay on top of my work, you know. But definitely just like engaging in it and just like learning more about it. And like now that like I've got my gen eds out the way and things like that, like I'm just focused solely on psychology. So it's nice to know that like honed in on that. So yeah.
There you go. 3 road games coming up. Kind of preview the soccer team's upcoming schedule here a little bit.
Yeah. I think this weekend we play Augie in I still don't know a lot of the cities or the states around here.
That's okay. Yeah, I think
And
Augustana, I think St. Cloud's in there too.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
kind of, what are some things, like what's the message that coach is giving you guys at this time heading into this road trip?
Yeah, heading into this Sunday, he literally today was like, we're going to grind it out starting on Wednesday. Tomorrow's our off day. So, like, starting Wednesday, 6:30 a.m., and then Thursday again, Friday again. And he basically said, like, we got to play ourselves fit in these practices and then just focus on, like, getting to Sunday and hoping, like, everyone's healthy, everyone's ready to go. And then we talk about, like, the game plan. We scout out the other team. And then he said, like, hopefully by Saturday or Friday, like, everyone's ready to go. But, yeah, like, I'm pretty excited. And, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, don't worry. I forgot the team names off the list off the top of my head.
No,
but,
okay.
yeah, so, 3-game road trip for you guys. And, that's just a little preview of for you guys, what to expect for Minot State Soccer coming up here. But, Yossi, thank you for being on the Inside the Dam podcast today. We enjoyed it.
Thanks, y'all, for having me.
Awesome. Thank
Appreciate
you,
it.
Yossi. And that was Yossi Villagrana from women's soccer junior transfer from Butler Community College and native of Wichita, Kansas. That is going to do it for the 3 guests today. We're going to take one more break here, folks. But before we do that, we just want to remind you about Papa John's, the sponsor of the Inside the Dam podcast. We are very gracious to have them on board. Hit them up on their website. Search for any deals they may have going on. Search Papa John's in Minot. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272. That's 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. Big thanks always to Admir and the Papa John's crew. We'll be back after this quick break. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Inside the Dam podcast. This is something we're doing for the first time here. Of course, I'm your host, Cole Clementich, and Matt Bosch, the camera person tonight, doing the switching on the iPad, joining me now. So, Matt, just kind of a quick recap tonight. We had Yossi Villagrana just recently from women's soccer. Paige Ammerman kicked off the show. She was from the volleyball team and native of Colorado. And a linebacker junior out of Montana, Carson Cayko, on the football team. What did you like about tonight? What kind of intrigued you most about tonight's athletes? Obviously, they all had amazing stories to share.
I guess just their majors. Like 2 of them in nursing, 1 in psychology. I'm taking psychology right now, and I am bombing it right now. And nursing, if I saw blood, I would probably pass out, and I don't know what would happen. But yeah, I couldn't imagine being a major like that, especially if they have to double major too. Like, what's the football guy's name?
Carson Cayko.
Carson.
Yep.
Yeah, Carson Cayko. I think he said he was double majoring or something. I'm just like,
yeah, that's
wow.
a tough schedule.
Yeah, wow. No, thank you.
Yeah. Anything? Yeah. I asked you, kind of what stood out to you.
What stood out to you, Cole?
What stood out to me? So they obviously they all had great stories to share. Just kind of just the energy that they brought and just sharing, being passionate about their teams. And this is the best part about doing this every week is them not only sharing their stories, but being passionate for their teams and having different mindsets, different approaches. Obviously wins and losses is one thing, but for them, just to be able to come in, they're all people, and we're here to maybe not hound them, but there's just great people to talk to and get to know more about, and they're the notable athletes that have had great performances from this past week. And I'll get into the home schedule coming up this week a little bit more. But no, Matt, it's just all the energy they bring, the mindset they bring, and I know it's just kind of from a big picture point of view, but yeah, that's I like that the most.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but I guess we'll see where they go, and let's hope soccer goes really far too. I'm excited for that.
Yep.
That's gonna be fun, and we'll see where
For sure.
volleyball goes. And just what Paige, I was about to mention something during Paige's interview when she was talking about M Life too. I remember at last year they had a volleyball game, and they gave out these shirts that said "Rip you, Mary with the tombstone." You remember?
I
that?
saw those.
Oh,
I wanted to get one, but I never got the chance to.
Yes,
Yep.
Shout out to Erin Hughes. She's she's like the main director for MSU Life, and Jada and Eric. They're all great, and yeah, if you ever come to my state, M Life is definitely the thing to do.
Absolutely, for sure. Matt, anything else you'd like to mention before we head off here?
Roll beefs.
Roll beefs.
Roll beefs as always.
Yep. Continuing to do great work with Sean Arbo. Yeah, for sure. But
he hasn't contacted me in a while, but it's okay. He's busy too. I'm busy too.
Busy, yeah.
We both own businesses, so yeah, we stay busy.
Sounds good. So yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to keep this segment for the uploading on the MSU Beavers page, but it's just a nice new thing we'll do here.
It just came to my head. That's all it is. It just came to my head.
Yes. So after Paige's segment, Matt just had this idea. What if we closed out the show this way? And honestly, why not? Yeah, give it a shot.
Just talk about everything. Just do a big old recap.
Absolutely. Yeah. So before we send it off here, folks, we want to give a big thank you once more. We had Paige Ammerman from the volleyball team, junior, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, junior from Durango, Colorado. All three juniors tonight, quite frankly, and Carson Cayko from Fairview, Montana, junior linebacker, third-year starter on the football team, and Yossi at Villagrana also scoring some big-time goals this season, a junior transfer from Butler Community College and Wichita, Kansas native. So, Matt, any last final thoughts before we send it off here? I know he said roll beeves already, but...
Roll beefs.
Sweet. Love it, man.
That's it.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in, as always. And for Matt Bosch, I'm Cole Clementich signing off. We'll see you guys next week. Hopefully, we can get the KMSU, the original KMSU crew in studio this time. Obviously, things have been kind of going crazy with school right now, but can't make any promises. You might see me. You might see a different set of people, but hopefully things all start out or go out well moving forward. But before we end off here, Papa John's, of course, be sure to check them out. They're great. So thanks to Admir and the Papa John's crew, as always, for sponsoring the Inside the Dam podcast. We'll see you guys later. Have a good rest of your night, and take care.